sheriffs.
All right, let's go. Okay. I guess is there just no audio on this right now? Or am I just not hearing it? Am I doing something wrong? You can hear the helicopter. Hey, Contra, welcome.
Okay, copy.
Oh, there she is. It's Eliana. It's the second night in
So
a
I'm
row
on
we
the
got
line
this
now.
really late night chase. Mike, welcome.
Yes.
We're like right up against when the news people go home. This is the end of their shift. Canadian lady, welcome. Mike's watching an ad. This is dangerous as fuck. There's nobody on the road, though.
This is the LA County Sheriff's Department that is in pursuit of this car, and it's been a
Yeah,
dangerous
streets are
pursuit
dead.
on surface streets in the Paramount area, but we were also in Bellflower for some time. But we originally picked it up on the eastbound 105 freeway. It was on the eastbound 105 before he exited on Bellflower and has been on surface streets ever since. Now, this pursuit has been so dangerous that you're not going to see any units directly behind him because they're essentially in what's called the tracking mode. So airship only on this one. Unclear what the original WOT was, but we know that there were 3 people inside because we saw 2 of the passengers bail from the car, but the driver kept going and the pursuit continues here.
The driver drops some people off? I wish we had seen that part. Yeah, we got a bunch of stuff if that's the case. Passenger exits.
This is Rosecrans and just passing over the freeway here. We're in the entering Compton actually. So we're entering Compton now, and again, you're not going to see any units behind
Compton.
the car because it's airship only
Nest,
on this
where you
one.
at?
Again, don't know what the original WOT was, but we know there were 3 people on board, and it has been extremely dangerous. He's ran every red light we've seen, barely misses hitting that pedestrian there as he makes that northbound turn now.
F. Did the chopper thing work?
Atlantic, which is
Tim,
a major thoroughfare here in the
what's
area.
up?
We were just a moment
Straight
ago
into
in Compton, but now we're in Linwood, and he's coming up to a red light, so we'll see what he does here. And it just switched on him, actually. It just went green. But every time he's come up to a red light,
all right, good.
He's ran right through it. Or if he doesn't want to run through it, he'll just make a right turn instead. But you can see that this car has suffered some body damage already during the course of this pursuit. You can see that the bumper is missing. We saw
all right, you guys want to do a prediction?
just a few minutes ago as well when the car got some air and had a hard landing. So overall, it's just been dangerous the entire time. And again, now on surface streets. These are surface streets, folks.
Okay, let's see if it works. How long have I been going?
Almost 100 miles an hour.
For almost 10 minutes? Or wait, 3 minutes. Okay, 3 minutes. Is this going to last 15 minutes? You think it's done before 15 minutes? I think so, probably. But I don't know.
Yeah, those 2...
There's no cops on them. You could just keep going. Not 15 more, 15 total, so 12 or 11 more minutes. He's going to run out of gas.
Yeah, let me widen up so you can kind of get a better feel for it. But he's just making the turn here onto Imperial Highway from Atlantic. So these are going to be, again, major streets here in the Linwood area. For the most part, commercial on both sides, lots of businesses. But where he abandoned, or rather where his passengers abandoned him, that was a residential area. And it looks like now he may be hopping on the freeway. So if he does, he will be getting on the
4K on the line. All right,
freeway from
let's
Imperial.
do it. What'd you vote?
We haven't seen him on the 710 freeway
yes?
before.
All right.
When he was on the freeway earlier, he was on the 105. So now on the 710 South.
Oh, we got 90 plus now. going on the highway. I think maybe your guys' prediction is good.
Yeah, he can see the light from the helicopter, and I'll just backtrack a little bit. I will say that at some point there were units behind him. When we originally got overhead,
Yeah, freeway buys time, that's right.
The sheriff's department behind the car when he was on the eastbound 105 freeway. But once he exited off of Bellflower and he got onto those surface streets, that's when it just became too dangerous.
Going like 120?
So that is when the units pulled off
What
and the airship
fuck?
stayed over it. But, you know, he can clearly, as you mentioned, he can clearly see the night sun. So sometimes what the airship will do in these types of situations is they'll just turn the night sun off. And then hopefully the guy or gal behind the wheel will think that they are no longer being pursued, and they'll start
that
to
seems
drive
like a good
at
idea.
more normal speeds. But for now, still continuing. Look at these speeds. Over 100
Can't airplay
miles
from
an
Twitch
hour
app?
here
I don't know.
on the southbound 710 freeway.
Can you? You would think so. You can Chromecast, I think.
Yeah, so incredibly dangerous. But the good news is that because he is on the freeway, he's not going to have any cross
I don't use the
traffic
Twitch
and
app
no
all that much.
pedestrians, and he's not going to be running any red lights, obviously. But he may actually be exiting now. So I've all those things I just mentioned make
All right.
into play.
You think there does it feel like there's a point to this? I mean, if you're getting off here, like it almost seems like he's going somewhere, right? Kinda.
Yeah, so he's doing a U-turn there. And now he's going eastbound Alondra from the off-ramp here, going over the 710 freeway. And it looks like he's going to stick to streets here. So he had a chance to get back on the freeway.
Maybe he's got a purpose here. He's going somewhere.
Maybe why he was
in a hurry. Fuck.
Paramount area.
Dude, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, still about 90 to 100 miles an hour.
This is crazy.
Continuing here, Alondra Boulevard.
Driving 100 on this road, I feel like this is going to end badly.
Has been in Paramount and in Bellflower, but most of the time that I've looked down, it seems like it's been in Paramount, though he did creep into Compton and Linwood for just a second before hopping onto the 710 freeway and making his way back to Paramount.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It kind of feels like they're going somewhere, but
we didn't see him collide with anything, even though there were a couple of close calls. But we never.
Like he's got a destination in mind. But if you got the night sun following you, where can you really go?
Or it happened prior to us arriving overhead. But you can actually see that he's down to just one headlight. So even the front bumper has some damage.
What happened? What's the time there? Where I am, it's 1:13 a.m. Where this chase is taking place, it's 11:13 p.m.
Yeah, it looks like he's just down to one headlight. And then, as you said, the rear lights aren't that great either. In fact, when he was on the 105 freeway earlier when we arrived overhead, he was completely blacked out, which made it really difficult to see. But now that he's on surface streets, at least he's got the headlights. And, of course, when he brakes, you can see the taillights. And we'll see what happens as he comes up to the next light here. Barely misses hitting that car as he runs the red here on Alondra Boulevard in Paramount.
I'm starting to feel like there was no clear destination.
So at this point, it's not clear if they're in custody, but I'll tell you that as soon as they exited the vehicle, the airship called out their exact location, and there were units close enough to come to the area and hopefully take them into custody. But at this point, I can't confirm whether they were taken into custody or not. Even if they were not willful participants of this pursuit, they will still be taken into custody.
No dead ends, not yet. You're right.
Of course, once they go down to the station,
stay on these major roads, man.
Interrogate everyone about what happened. Then they will release them if they had nothing to do with this. But for now, the focus here from the Sheriff's Department is going to be on the individual behind the wheel. Again, at this point, we don't know if it's a man or a woman, but the two passengers that exited the car were men.
Okay. Why are the streets so empty? I guess because it's so late. It's really late.
This type of car is going to fit at least 5 people. We saw 2 exit. We know there's one behind the wheel, so there possibly could be up to 2 more.
Possibly could be. Yeah, 2 guys got out of the car. Eliana's like, oh, possibly there's 2 more. Who's fucking knows?
Yeah, we actually were on another pursuit. We were covering another chase on the 710
Yeah, there
freeway
was
that
another
exited
chase,
in,
and I almost
Monterey
went live
Park,
for this other chase.
near the sheriff's headquarters
A
there at
minute
the
ago,
710
like a
and the
while
10.
ago, an
So
hour
we were
ago, maybe.
covering that pursuit, and then it was after that pursuit that my pilot Jim Pollard
They didn't actually
spotted
like
some
get
vehicles
live
running,
on
with their
TV
lights
with
and
it.
sirens on the 105 freeway. We came to check it out, and then that's when we learned that it was in fact a sheriff's department pursuit, and it wasn't on the freeway though for long before he exited on Bellflower Boulevard, and it's been on surface streets for the most part until he got on the 710, but making a U-turn.
Yo, what?
Making a U-turn here on
What are you
Downey,
doing?
with Across the Flower, and there are the units. So those
Oh,
are the
there's
units
cops.
that we were waiting to arrive
Oh,
on scene,
shit.
and now they're going to get behind the car.
All right,
now,
that's
if
not
they
good.
get behind the car, it's because they realize that the tracking mode is not working. Usually they will go into tracking mode to get the driver to slow
I guess
down.
it wasn't
But
working.
in this case,
I don't know.
we've seen
Was
that
it?
clearly he's not slowing down for anyone.
Maybe
or
it was
anything.
working.
So they've got really nothing to lose by getting
Maybe
behind
he
him
could
now,
drive
but
much
he's
more
entering the
ridiculously.
freeway, so
Let's
that does
find out.
change things a little bit, because then that means that the California Highway Patrol could take over the pursuit now.
Great move. You think it was working? I mean, he was still driving like really fast, but I kind of agree with you. I think that in this case, it would only get worse if they had cops behind them. Yeah, he didn't crash. I agree with you.
Almost,
Yeah.
I got that same feeling
Totally.
as well, that he was perhaps looking for a place to abandon the vehicle and take off running and just kind of bring things to an end. But once he saw those units, when he did that U-turn, I think it might have changed something in his mind, and he decided he was not ready to give up. And so for that reason, he is now back on the freeway. We're eastbound on the 91 freeway in the Long Beach area. So essentially, we are east of the 110 and west of the 710 along the 91 freeway.
Few more vehicles on this part of
cars, but really, they're not that
highway.
slow moving though. Everyone else's freeway speeds. He's the one that's just outrageously fast compared to everybody else on the road.
Yeah, she is getting in his head. Roads are busier there, and you have 15,000 people. Man, it's late, you know.
Yes, so he's going eastbound, rather. I'm sorry, let me look out the window real quick. Okay, he's going westbound. Sometimes I get turned around when I'm just looking down all the time, but I'm actually just looking up ahead, and I can see towards LAX, so he is going westbound here on the
Don't go to
91 freeway,
LAX.
currently in the Long
No.
Beach area.
We can't have this happen to us 2 nights in a row, man.
Let me widen out. Yeah, I'm not seeing any units, at least no units with their lights on. So at this point, if there are any units, they're
backed off
trailing
again.
behind with their lights off, so that, again, this person will think that he or she is no longer being pursued and hopefully slow down just
I'm
a
sure
little
there
bit.
are parts
But
of
I'll
LA
tell you,
that are
because we're
pumping,
on the
but
freeway, it just makes sense
this
to
is
get
just
CHP involved, so
Compton.
I can guarantee you that those calls
outside
are
of
being
LA.
made
It's
to
not
get the California Highway Patrol
not
to come out
somewhere
here
that's
and
popping on
follow this
Thursday night at
vehicle,
11
since
p.m. I
He
guess.
is on the freeway, and of course the CHP is going to be the police of our freeways here in California, so they're going to be best equipped to follow this pursuit if he continues on the freeway.
Okay. Good. Please stay with it.
They actually haven't talked about it at all, and I think it's just because he has no rhyme or reason to his driving. Even though he stayed in Paramount for a while, he was never just circling the same street.
Yeah.
And so for that reason, it made it difficult
Everyone's
to figure
done
out where
for
he
by
was going to
now.
go and where they could possibly place a spike strip where he would run it over.
There'd be
And
no
as you
way to do a
mentioned,
spike
maneuver at
strip in
these
this
speeds,
case.
just not going to happen. But fortunately, it's a smaller
No
car,
way.
so were he to slow down his speeds, then they could possibly try it. But at this point, just at the speed that he's going at, they just can't. And the other thing we got to take into account is he armed? At this point, we don't
Is
know
he
what
armed?
the
Let's
original
just-
want was,
hey.
other than that it was a failure to yield.
Possibly.
So if the officers know a little bit more about the original want than we do, if they'd perhaps know
You
that
drive
he is
straight
armed,
for
then that
too
could
long,
really affect whether or not they do
Eliana
a flip
will
maneuver, because they wouldn't want
speculate
to put
that
their
you've done
officers
all
in a
kinds of
situation
shit.
where they would pit a car with a person inside who was possibly armed.
Nah, I don't know what kind of car it is. Could be. Like a 20-year-old Lexus? I don't know.
It's still very fast. You see the speeds there, about almost 90 miles an hour here, and he's still westbound on the 91 freeway. So he's going to be coming up to the 10 freeway. I'm sorry, the 110 freeway,
It looks
the
old
Harbor
to
freeway.
me.
So at that point, essentially, the 91 comes to an end, and it just becomes a surface street at that point.
But
so
it seems
he
to
could
be
stick to that,
pretty good
or he could transition to either the
performance.
northbound 110 or southbound 110, which he hasn't been on this entire time. He's really only been on the 105, the 710, or the 91.
Hey, we got past 15 minutes. We did it. San Pedro, hey. We haven't got that one in a while.
It looks like he is transitioning to the 110, and I'll tell you here as he completes
Okay.
the transition if he's going north
So
or
you're gonna be more
south.
traffic on
At
this
this
highway?
point, it appears that he's going to be going north.
Cops are
on
right
the
behind him
110
now.
from the 91.
How
freeway.
many of them?
Yeah, so here are the units coming in, and here's the CHP unit. So the one with its lights on is CHP. The ones that aren't lit up are sheriffs. So what's happening is since we are on the freeway, and he's been on the freeway now for the last few minutes, the California Highway Patrol is going to be taking over it. So you'll see that unit with the light bar approach the vehicle here in the next minute or so. And I am hearing that the CHP is asking for permission to join the pursuit. So we should see that car get behind him here momentarily.
I think that's like a Camry or something. It's like
the 405 was just behind us, so he missed his chance to get on that. But he, as you mentioned, he could get on the 105. So we've seen him on the 105 before, and he seemed to be really familiar with that Bellflower, Paramount area. So I wouldn't be surprised
it looks like
if
Toyota
he picks up the 105 from here. Beyond that, he would essentially be stuck on the 110 because his next chance to transition to any other freeway
driving
would be
120
the 10, and
though.
that doesn't come up until we get to just south of downtown.
It's a Dodge Charger. It's swerving around now.
Yeah, it definitely
Gonna
does
get
light
off?
up their path and gives them at least some sort of indication that something's going on. Because the only unit that we saw with its lights on was that one unit of the CHP. So if you're not looking for that, you may not realize that this is a pursuit. But fortunately, because of that night sun, it's nice and bright, so the other drivers on the road would be able to see it. And ideally, what you want to do in those types of situations when you see a pursuit coming your way is, if you can safely do so, move over to the right. But as you see, if you look towards that right lane, we've got some construction coming up, which means we're going to have construction workers. That always makes for such a dangerous situation. So in this case, I'm hoping he stays in the left lane. And he's going, continuing northbound here on the 110 freeway. And those lanes that you're seeing up above, those are the fast-track lanes.
Scentless, welcome.
Here for just a moment,
hey, good to see you.
Going northbound 110 freeway.
I have
from
not
the 105.
pulled up any alternative sources. I am slacking. Okay, we got another one now. But I'm going to stick with Eliana. I like Eliana.
Yeah, exactly. Because they know what the want is, that leads us to believe that they know exactly who's behind the wheel, which means that they were able to run the license plate and it would come back to the registered owner, likely the person that they were looking for in connection with that felony vandalism case out of Bellflower. Now, we don't have any of the exact details of that specific vandalism case, but I can tell you that it was the Sheriff's Department that initially tried to pull this person over, but they failed to yield and the pursuit was on, and boy, was it on, over 110 miles an hour on the freeway. And at some point when he got into a residential area, he started slowing down. I thought everyone was going to get out of the car, but the driver stayed behind the wheel. The 2 male passengers got out.
He had 2 passengers
who
who were like,
continued.
let us out of here. All right. Let's get this prediction going. You guys think this is going to last 10 more minutes? We are at the 20-minute mark right now. Is this going to last for 10 more minutes at 30 minutes?
Phone. So if you look right in the driver's window, you can actually see the light of what
Gamble
appears
all
to
your
be a
points
cell
away.
phone. So perhaps texting with his buddies to figure out what they know. Obviously, he's being pursued. There's no question about that.
So
but this person clearly still on his phone. I see sparks coming from under the vehicle. If you
what
look
is those
just under
sparks?
the,
What are
the
those
front,
sparks?
Tire there, you can see those sparks. So this car is really.
Is there something dragging? What is happening?
In the course of the pursuit, before we arrived overhead, but clearly this car is going to have issues as this pursuit continues.
This car is gonna have issues. Yo, what? Is it gonna light on fire? Yeah, it must have crashed, like had something serious happen.
It really could, and that would just make for such a dangerous situation for his fellow drivers here on the northbound side of the 110 freeway. So we really hope it doesn't come to anything like that where he endangers the lives of other people. But it looks like he's actually getting in the carpool lanes, so that's why you see him on the elevated portion is because he's in those fast track lanes.
This is really fascinating to me
coming
at the
up
moment.
to 52nd place would be the street. Closer to Vernon would be the major. And there's the 1 unit of the CHP, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3,
how many more behind
4.
That? I'm seeing 4 units total. So 4 units total of the California Highway Patrol behind this driver, in addition to the LA County.
Oh, Eliana said he was on the phone? Okay. Okay. While he's driving 100 on the highway.
Yeah, correct. We're passing the Coliseum, USC, as you mentioned, and downtown LA is going to be coming up here in the next couple minutes, especially at the speeds he's traveling at. It's going to come
the world
up real
stops
fast.
for a good police
So the next
chase.
freeway that he's going to come up to will be the 10 freeway. It'll give him a chance to go east or
Everybody
west
in Russia is watching,
or proceed northbound on the 110. Of course, he could always exit. That's going to put him into the heart of downtown. So all of those numbered streets is
I don't
where
know. Don't get off in downtown. Don't do it, man.
It's
hard to see when they drive down there.
Level when it comes to pedestrians and
it can
red
be
lights
really
and
tough.
things of that nature that you would encounter on surface streets.
Yeah, Putin's got this on.
Yeah,
Man, I don't think it's really changed anything to have the cops right behind
who is
him.
going to hang back a little bit to run a traffic break, perhaps. Or sometimes they do. Oh, I'm seeing a little bit of smoke coming from the car there. I think you might have just been hard on the brakes there. But sometimes officers will do something that's called.
Oh shit!
The hood just flew up.
Oh shit!
Oh wow! If this wasn't dangerous before, this is dangerous now. Now he's barely going to be able to see, and at the speeds that he's traveling at, boy oh boy, this makes it so dangerous.
Yo, you gotta stop.
Oh, can you imagine
what
trying to drive like
doing?
That? Yeah, so there's a Metro bus right ahead of him. We're going to lose him there for just a second, but here he comes out the other side.
This is so intense.
It looks like he's transitioning to the 10 freeway.
He's driving
so this
with
looks like we're going to be going eastbound on the 10
hood
freeway
of the
from
car
the 110.
I assume that you can't see much right now. Maybe you can look in that little gap. He's probably down like this, right? He's probably down like this trying to look through that little gap, or he's got the window open. Okay, you got it to go down.
So
you got it to go down, man.
Yeah,
you're good.
Yeah, it looks like his hands are
that's
out.
it.
Yep.
Right.
So it looks like this may be it for him. You see the officers there with their
less
guns
than
drawn.
30 minutes
I see
for
the driver's
sure.
hands, so I'm going to go ahead and stay tight and he's now down on the ground. And there's
That's it.
another
Oh,
person.
there
Look
is
at that.
there is
It
multiple
was,
people.
in fact, another person in the vehicle. So total, that means there
Got
would
him
have been 4
crawling.
people inside of the vehicle.
Got him
You see
crawling.
the driver
What?
crawling in the direction
What?
of the officers. They're
What?
giving him directions and handcuffing him. That was
Have you
interesting,
seen
that's
that
for sure.
shit?
And here you see those officers there at the top of the screen. They have their guns pointed at the passenger. They'll really try to slow
Anybody
things
who voted
down now.
no.
Now that the driver is in custody, they will
Or
slowly
gambled
make
no,
those
wagered
commands
no.
to the passenger and take that person into custody as well.
Yeah, Frogger, for real, Mike. Oh my god, that was so absurd looking. I keep forgetting to use my stream deck to do the marker thing. I actually got to start dropping markers.
I can guarantee you that's not what they asked him to do. That's for sure. They would never ask him to approach in that manner, but that's what he decided to do.
Won a lot of
They got
points.
him
All
into
right, good.
custody and nobody's hurt, so
Congratulations.
that's the good news. And the CHP officers
There's
now
another
approaching the car.
person
They just
in
want to
there?
clear it, make sure nobody is inside. They'll
No
pop
way.
open the trunk. Sometimes it takes them a moment to figure out where the button is for that. So once they do, they will pop the trunk open and make sure that nobody is hiding back there. And once that's all said
Okay.
and done, they'll be able to
How many
clear
did
the
we get
freeway
on the
again,
bingo
ending
card?
here
6?
Eastbound
Do we
10
miss
freeway at
anything?
Maple.
I don't think so. That's it. Look at all these cars backed up. Oh, that sucks. Now there's a traffic jam. Yeah, there's the LA traffic. Okay, everybody. Thank you. I gotta go to bed. It's late. We'll do this again sometime soon. Hopefully, the cop's gonna drive the car out of the road. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.